Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Hashnode Bootcamp on technical writing. This is session number 8. We have a lot of session behind us. This is the 8th one, the last one for this bootcamp. Hope you had the nice time and that you had a lot of tips and tricks gathered in your knowledge basket and ready to start practicing them and apply them. Today's guest is Aman Mittal. He is a software developer. He is a technical writer, open source enthusiast, contributed in this way or another to some popular things like Node.js, Gatsby.js, Free Code Camp. Probably if you saw that hashtag 100 days on Twitter, he wrote a blog. He wrote a Twitter bot, which is official one for the Free Code Camp. So you probably see some of his, let's say, creation. His articles on Medium has more than 2 million views, which is pretty much amazing. When he's not reading, when he's not developing or writing blogs, he likes to read, and he also writes reviews on books, so he likes to read a lot. He likes to travel as well. Probably this year less because of all this, but yeah. So hi, Aman.
Hi, Bruno.
Welcome, and we are glad to have you here. So the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I couldn't have done it better myself. Uh, so I'll start with the the first slide. Today's topic is how to write consistently. Uh, so as Bruno said, I have written for a long period of time, especially on Medium, and I have written consistently on the basis uh, that how I got views. So writing is really a core part of a blog. You write a blog post. It may contain other elements like code snippets, images, or different things, but writing is the main thing that you have to prepare for to publish a blog post. Having a blog is very useful for a developer, especially these days, because uh, there can be various reasons that you can write a blog post or you can continue writing a blog. But one of the few things that have helped me as a developer are like when I was freelancing or when I was working as a contract developer, it used to help me generate leads. It used to make me meet my potential clients. And it can be a place for where you share something when you learn something new. As a developer, I really like trying new things out, and I often share things on my blog when I'm learning new because that helps me how to how to get into the mindset of learning a new library or a framework. So blogging has helped me become a part of a community. It has helped me become a better human being. Through community, I communicate with different bloggers, with different developers, and how they tackle different situations, uh, how they handle working in their daily life, maintaining a routine, and that that things are necessary apart from your day job, and that thing helps you become a better human being, improve your life. So this talk is going to be about how to write consistently. The end goal of this talk is to help you write more. Uh, Today, I'm going to share various things about how to maintain this level of keep on writing blog posts and how to make writing a part of your routine. Uh, I will be discussing some general tips that have helped me in past 3 years, and especially on creating uh, generating topics and aspects of blogging in general. Along with that, I'll also share some things that are helpful in maintaining the routine, that things I usually do and things I usually avoid, and especially those things that I avoided when I was starting as a technical writer. So writing is a core part of any blog post. Without writing, a blog post wouldn't exist. It is the initial step that you can take to write. It might sound easy at times, but it is really not. I consider writing a blog post is a combination of three things. It's about the idea of the blog post. It's about your time when you're spending on writing and researching that topic, and it's the amount of energy it takes to complete that whole process. The keyword here is actually the writing. Uh, and imagine doing it for on consistent basis, doing it again, doing writing 10 posts in a month, writing 100 posts in a year. Uh, One question that comes to my mind is how do you do that? Because there are bloggers who are doing it on a very consistent basis, and they are expert in that area. So a simple answer I can give you uh, is to write more. This has helped me to where I started to where I'm right now. This brings the topic of consistency. Writing more helps you get better at it. It helps you reach your blogging goals. It helps you create an audience for your own blog. It's a way of showing how serious you are about something, and it's also about showing respect to your own creation. When I started writing, I wasn't consistent at all. I used to write two posts in a week, and then I would not write any other post for like 2 or 3 months. Uh, that was not a good approach because that's not how you take see things. Like it shows you are not taking things seriously, and it's not a healthy way to create a routine. If you are into blogging and you want to do it for a sustainable period of time, not being consistent cost me some opportunities when I was getting into technical writing as a professional, and it is something I got to learn later on when I got into the technical aspect of writing. Uh, uh, Not being consistent and not being uh, publishing new content on a consistent basis is not a good way to build an audience as well. So, how do we tackle the process of writing consistently? One thing that I start with is about scheduling your time. You have to take uh, some chunks of amount of time from your routine uh, uh, that you can dedicate to the writing your own blog post. Without managing your time, you might encounter some issues like not sticking to your routine, not sticking to this new habit uh, for a longer period of time. And as an individual developer, it's not a good way to grow. If you want to generate leads or if you want to get some opportunities that are available there, but if you're not presenting yourself, not putting yourself out there, it might not be there for you. Uh, so, uh, Apart from scheduling time, you can you have to like fix your schedule of publishing posts as well. Like if you want to publish a post, one post per week, and if you are not sitting down and writing that post at the end of the week, you won't be able to publish it. So you have to take care of that as well. Sticking to a schedule helps you a lot. It is better than feeling inspired or waiting for that motivation to kick in. It is how you create a routine. Sometimes I uh, practice when I'm learning something like something new, some new framework or some new library. I usually use this approach to uh, develop a better understanding for that particular topic, and I write a lot of blog posts about it. I think it is a faster way to learn something new because you get to practice that concept and then you can explain it in the form of a post in your own words with your own understanding. And when you share it out there, you also get the chance to develop your better understanding for that topic. Like, for example, if you use a community blogging platform like Hashnode and you post a blog post out there, there would be some people who might know better than you, and they would like to share their views, which can help you do that particular topic or follow that particular pattern more efficiently. The same goes for sharing your blog post on social media platform. Uh, I always consider blogging as low barrier to explaining things. It doesn't require much apart from a laptop and an internet connection. You just have to sit down and write. So these are some of the things that can help you get started to build and maintain a routine. These are some motivations, like learning a new topic and developing an understanding for it could be could be helpful for you in the long term as a developer. Now I'd like to discuss some things that I usually do or I have done in the past to maintain this habit. Apart from managing and scheduling your posts and your time around it, you have to be focused what your blog is about. Having a mission statement for a certain period of time to keep your topics of posts consistent would help you build an audience from scratch. It would also help you explore or help you expand your knowledge for a good amount of period of time for in regards to a particular technology or a stack. Let's say, for example, like you're a front end developer and you want to learn React, and usually by explaining different uh, things about React, different APIs that React has, the way it integrates with different services or different um, libraries, you can write a lot of blog posts on that, and you can create a series around it if you want, or you can uh, schedule like how you went from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2, so that it can show you the how far you have come from starting from zero from scratch. Another thing I like to do when I'm writing blog posts and maintaining a blog is to draft my posts in advance. This thing has been my this has took me from my day one thing. I would say, like I like it. It is easy uh, to publish a post on the day when you wrote it because that excitement is there and you want to just get it out. But I would not recommend that. I would say, like, if you want to maintain this habit of blogging on a consistent basis, you have to have some content in your drafts in your blog. Uh, it because it affects your audience end of the day, and they when you start publishing, when you start getting encouragement from your audience, when you start building an audience from scratch, they usually expect things from you. Like, if like what I used to do, I used to publish one post every week, and if I uh, don't post a blog post publish a blog post in like 1 or 2 weeks, it might their expectations would not be as high as they start when they started following me, and it is not a good way to uh, get new people to read your blog posts. So uh, having a list of ideas is also one thing that uh, helps you plan and helps you draft your post in advance. I would say, like, you can't uh, you can't sit every day and brainstorm about new topics or micromanage a bigger topic in its subparts to make it different blog posts. This having a list of ideas is helps you uh, from keeping that void that becomes like when you're not able to brainstorm new ideas, and if you already have a list of ideas, you can take a look at it and start working on something, or start researching or start writing on it. When it comes to having a list of ideas or coming up with a list of ideas, start with what you already know. because as a developer, you might be surprised that you know a lot of things that might help other people to to in their daily job, and it is something tremendous, because the impact your blog post can have on somebody else, you'd never know. It is you can What you know right now is like you can break down your knowledge into chunks, and out of those chunks try to decide what is good for a single blog post, and you can share it in those blog posts either in one post or in different chunks. One example I would give here is like, if you're coming from a JavaScript background, or if you're learning JavaScript, you might have heard about Gatsby or Next.js. They both are a good platform to build your blog from scratch, and you can write down the aspects of learning these platforms if you are not familiar with from a beginner's point of view. And when you're sharing those aspects of your learnings, it could be helpful for someone who also is in a similar position as you and want to uh, continue building their own blog. So it's one of the examples. Uh, the second thing I would like to uh, the last thing I would like to uh, say in this slide is like, working with the same set of tools is always helpful. I would say start with tools that you know, and by tools I mean like the applications you use to take notes. Like I use Apple Notes application to take my notes, and I use Trello to keep a track of uh, my blogging ideas. And I also use Notion to keep track of the posts I have written and published. So these are the various tools that I am familiar and that I use in daily lives. And it's always, I would always recommend to go with the tools that you are most familiar with, because you don't want to spend time learning on those tools rather than writing your own blog posts. So it is always helpful. Uh, Another example I would say, like, write your blog post in the language, in the editor you know, and the format you prefer. Like I prefer Markdown, and one advantage Markdown gives you is like when you're sharing your blog post on a community platform like Hashnode or Dap.2, they both support Markdown formats, so you don't have to go through converting those posts into some different markup and then publishing them. It also reduces the amount of time that you can spend on publishing on different platforms. A few other things I consider that are important if you want to develop writing as a habit and make it a part of your routine is to read. Read as much as you can. It doesn't matter what you read. Like you can read other blog posts uh, who lies in the similar area as yourself. You can read other blog posts who doesn't lie in your niche. Study them. Follow some developer relations or advocates you know who are working for some organizations, and look how they are creating content on consistent basis. You can even get inspired and observe how other content creators like YouTubers or in any other format that you like to follow, and how they are creating content on different uh, criteria, supporting their platform, their brand. Uh, this is something I have learned a lot from Twitter. Basically, people share from different backgrounds, from different job profiles, from different titles. They share a lot of things, and it is important to get a unique perspective, uh, because seeing things from different angles, seeing other people solving the same kind of problem from their own approach, you always learn something new, and you want to improve as a developer in the long run, and as well as a writer, of course. So you can share that learning in the form of your own writing, and then you can develop a better understanding. there are also some things I like to avoid when it comes to uh, starting as a developer. I would say don't be aggressive when it comes to publishing posts. Uh, if you're starting writing blog posts or maintaining a blog post as a developer, you again, it's about feeling excited and publishing all the posts in one go, but it is not a sustainable thing to do for a long period of time. Uh, take your time, create a schedule, stick to it, and uh, use tools to your own benefits and manage your blog like a brand, your like yourself as a that is representing you and as an individual developer. Second thing I like to avoid is to delve into a rabbit hole of creating uh, blog blogging platform for your own publishing from scratch and using those shiny new technologies uh, that you have always intended to learn. I enjoy learning new technologies, but I also believe that there should be a minimal amount of friction between writing a post and maintaining a blog. Using those shiny new technologies that you're not completely comfortable or familiar with might create a huge amount of friction, and they might uh, you might be end up spending more time maintaining uh, that blog instead of writing that different posts that you are planning to do for a long period of time, and that is not a healthy way to continue this routine and to develop a habit of writing in a long term. So if you plan to have a blog, or if you have a blog that you already are using it and posting a lot of things, then I would say you should also consider cross-posting things on community platforms like Hashnode or Dev.to, because they generally have a larger audience than your blog can initially have or it can start with. And you will, of course, meet those different uh, bloggers, different readers, different type of audience, apart from your primary target audience, which can help you grow your blog, and as well as which can also help you learn a few more things and other thing or become more efficient in the understanding the concept which you already know. Uh, Another thing that comes to mind when you are starting or you are trying to create this habit of blogging regularly or writing consistently is that you should not worry about the language you are writing in. English is not my native language. When I'm writing a blog post, I only use English. It is not something I usually think my thought process happens in, but and I used to make a fuss about it, but not anymore, because along the way I have learned that uh, you the more you write, the better you improve your skills of language as well as of writing and communicating. Uh, Writing and communicating, I would say, comes in hand when you're simple and your process is simple and you're make communicating in a very clear way, and that way is the person who's reading your post would be able to understand more in a better format, in a better way. So another thing that it is general among writers is like finding that writer's voice which is unique, but I don't consider it as something you have. It is something you develop rather uh, than thinking about it for a long period of time. I would say don't dwell into these things. It is Writing is a skill. We need to work on it. We and the more we write, the more we publish, the more we get used to it, the more will find our own writer's voice. We'll find the way we think, uh, things we like to write in a particular manner, and the way we don't. want to pursue writing in that particular format. Lastly, the thing you should avoid is you don't have to wait for that awesome idea. You can't. The motivation would be there for first day or second day, or might be there for the first post or second post, but in a longer term, you won't be feeling inspired when you're writing the third or fourth post. And obviously, your target audience, uh, they don't care about your awesome idea. They only care about you sharing your knowledge in something in a clear manner, so that they can enjoy that value you're providing them through your blog post. So these are some tips and tricks that I find helpful when writing blog posts and maintaining this habit for past 3 years. One more word I would like to end this talk with is, like, you have to share everything and everywhere. Like, start sharing uh, things on the internet, on the platforms that you use, especially community platforms, as we have discussed, like Hashnode and Dev.to. They have the benefit of the large amount of audience, and you also get to know about different perspectives. Share on social media platforms, whichever one you use, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and try to cross post your posts or write for some online publications like Camp and Hacker Noon, because they also have a tendency of huge audience. But you also get exposure of writing for different online publications. And you can also continue sharing your posts on forums like Hacker News and Reddit. I would say do share, be brave, because the kind of criticism you get there, sometimes it is constructive and sometimes it is not. And only by sharing on these kind of platforms, you would get to know how to find a difference between a constructive feedback and a not so constructive feedback. So the last thing I would like to leave is with a task. I want you to practice all these things. Practice, if you have taken any practical tip from this talk, I would like to use that and write for at least 30 to 60 minutes over a topic of your own choice for 7 days straight without missing a day. Try to be consistent. Try to write on the same time on period for 7 days. Like, if you're sitting and writing in the morning before your work starts, I would say do it 7 day in the same time, around the same time. Like, I usually write around 6:30 and 7 a.m. before my day starts, and that is when my mind is clear, and that helps me to get with the most important task of my day, which is the most creative task I should say, which is writing or thinking or researching about a blog post. Uh, of course, you'll have to start with a topic. So I would say uh, write with what you know. Don't think too much about a topic. Don't research too much, but just stick to a topic. Just choose one. Don't spend too much time on choosing one topic, and keep on writing for 7 straight days. The end goal, the basic end goal I want for you to follow is to write with intention, because at times we are not feeling motivated, as I've told, and the inspiration doesn't kick in. But writing with intention is the most important thing that can help you maintain this habit, this routine, and it can benefit you in a longer term. So thank you. If you have any questions, please ask.
Okay, Aman, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful session, for the slides and all of your thoughts. I especially like that thing what you wrote, what to avoid. So it's also important. So things, of course, it's important to know what to do, but sometimes it's also important to know what not to do. And yeah. Okay, we will start now with the QA session, and I will start with some questions that get the most upvotes, and we will start reading them, tackling them one by one. So, first question is, does sticking to a particular niche help with the consistency?
Yeah, like as I said, like if you're getting into front end development, like I'll give my example. Like I was initially a backend developer. I was using Node.js for 1.5 years, but I was in a new job and I had to take the responsibility of working as a full stack developer, and that required me to learn front end development and React from scratch. So sticking to a topic is a good way to build an audience. It's because people, when you write on a particular topic for a long period of time, like for months and months, people start trusting you. You also get better at it, and that's a very, very a huge and a unique way, I would say, to build an audience from scratch for your own blog.
Yeah. Do you recommend publishing the same content on Hashnode and Dev too, or do you publish on the other platform linking back to the main platform? So what do you suggest when it comes to this resharing and
Of course,
syndicating blogs and everything?
I would suggest publishing on both platforms. I know there might be some overlap of audience in both platforms, but I think Hashnode is a proper blogging platform because it gives you elements of customizing your own styles, and it gives you to keep your choose your own domain. Whereas dev.to is like you create a user account and it's just like a kind of a social media platform, not exactly like that. Like you're publishing blog posts at the end of the day. One trick I find very useful is like using canonical URLs. So if you are publishing initially at the Hashnode blog and it's under your own domain, you can use that URL as a canonical one on dev.to, and it will benefit you in both ways.
Yeah, definitely. This canonical URL is pretty much important. Just go on Google and read about it, what it is. So it will benefit you if you set it up properly. Yeah, the audience is wondering if there is something, if there is a thing such as writing too many blog posts.
I don't know. Like I don't think there is a thing like that. I admire a few bloggers who write every day, especially Flavio Cops. He posts those chunks of blog posts almost every day, and I'm seeing him for posting it for past like 2 years. Uh, it depends, like what you want to convey as a message or as a part of your own learning and part you want other people to focus on. So I don't think there's a too much. There's a thing called too much of blog post. It's not something like there's always a question of like quality over quantity, and you're not gonna write quality content or you're not gonna improve your skill of writing unless you are pushing it out there in on consistent basis.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, now we have a traditional question, so everyone get this question, so you won't be exception. So be prepared. So, how do you deal with imposter syndrome, knowing out there are people who are more expert than yourself? What's
Uh,
your thoughts on that?
my thoughts are on that I don't know everything. I can never know everything in this world, in this dev world, and to like either I can sit, have a block in my mind and thinking about being suffering from imposter syndrome all day, or I can try to observe other people's on how they approach learning new things or how they approach getting expertise in that thing. And what kind of content they are reading, what kind of content they are following. That is why I said like follow like whomsoever the format you like, following like YouTubers or Instagram or Twitter, follow them and observe how they are creating content and how they are pushing it out there, because seeing things from different angles makes you feel more comfortable with your own level of knowledge, because everyone has their own different expertise level, and it's always good to share.
And when it comes to technical writing, becoming a technical writer, especially the professional one, paid one, let's say, is there any kind of a roadmap or a way how to achieve that goal, how to achieve that to get into that position?
I didn't have a roadmap. I don't think there's a roadmap. The only thing you can do is like have some blog posts in your arena. Like you have different formats like short blog posts, full length tutorials, and approach technical publications like DigitalOcean or LogRocket, who actually pay you for writing, and share your topic with them, discuss your idea with them, share an outline, and go through their process. And if they accept it, eventually you'll get accepted, and you'll be a professional technical writer, I would say.
Is there any correlation when it comes to number of published blog posts on one hand and number of opportunities that you get based on those blog posts? Is it kind of, I don't know, linear relation, or is it, did you spot anything?
I don't think there's a, like, in my case, I don't feel like there's a linear relation. But yeah, if you are present there for a longer period of time, of course, people are gonna recognize you. People keep coming back to you with opportunities, or some leads. There's no linear graph to like it will go upwards and upwards and upwards. No, it can be like this in a wavy format.
Okay, we have a little bit longer question. Okay, just finishing reading. So, okay, the question is, yeah, when you start writing and when you don't have a problem with actual how to write, but when you have a problem on on inspiration, what to write about. So, your 2 cents on those topics. So, when you don't have inspiration on what to write about.
That is why I suggest to have a topic of ideas in your bag of drafts, because again, like coming up with a new topic every day is not sustainable. It's not something a mind can process. It's not something you can do, because every day is a different day. But if you are feeling inspired and if you are feeling motivated to maintain that level of consistency of writing a blog post or writing a lot of blog posts, I would say, first of all, go with what you know and write it down as list all of the topics like you can write about with your own knowledge. And then I would say, like, go for things you are learning or things you want to learn, and write those topics as you follow your learning path. Because like when I started writing about Node.js, I used to read a lot of documentations, and I felt like there were not a lot of content out there that you would find in a documentation of Node.js, but not in a practical aspect or a pragmatic aspect on how you would use it as a piece of code. And I wrote this short post on using buffers with Node.js, and it is still one of my most popular posts after 3 years.
Nice. Now we have one question related to the task, and maybe there are some misunderstandings. So the question is, related to the task, can they be short 2-minute articles? If I get you correctly, your task is just to write 30 to 60 minutes, not publish anything, just to write and have a consistency of 7 days. So maybe clarification on that.
You can publish, like if you want to write 7 different posts in 7 different days, of course, go ahead. I want you to motivate to publish the post, but my main idea is for you to write with intentions, like intentionally sit down and know what you are doing and write about it.
And when it comes to posting the time that when you post, do you schedule your post, and do you know maybe when is the best time to share the posts? Do you have any data on that, analytics?
I'm not an expert in that, but I do have a general idea. Like I usually share my post according to my own time zone, which is IST, Indian Standard Time Zone, in the evening time after like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. because that's when most of my circle is active on Twitter as well as on other blogging platforms. One thing I have learned from other blog posts or bloggers is that they usually publish around uh, their own, like in their own time zone during either in early morning or during late night or in evening.
There's one also technical question. So, are you going to share the slides?
Of course, I'll share the link of the slides afterwards on my Twitter.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, follow Aman for his slides, and he will share it shortly after. So you mentioned your editor tools, but what about proofreading, grammar, and such tools that can help? What are you using? What are you suggesting?
So as I said, English is not my native language. It is something I'm getting better every year. So the two most important tools I use for the language and for grammar is Grammarly and Hemingway app. Hemingway app gives me an idea of what each sentence is for good for reading or is not for good for reading, and the length of the sentence and the length of the paragraph should be uh, in acquaintance to each other. Same thing can be done on Grammarly. Grammarly also helps me keep typos out of the way. So it is very huge benefit for me.
Yeah, they seems to be most popular, Hemingway and Grammarly, so most of people are using them. Okay, I will combine the next two questions since they are about drafts. When you write posts. So how many drafts do you have ongoing at certain times? So how much time does it take you since you start until you publish it? That's the first question. And the second one is how many posts do you have in drafts ready so in advance?
So I usually work on a post or two in a week, but I do keep that in mind that I should have at least 2 to 3 post gap when it comes to publishing. Like if I'm publishing a post this week, I might be having 4 to 5 drafts, like for next 4 to 5 weeks. My general idea is to publish one post per week on my own blog, and the publications I write for, and that's why I keep a log of 2 to 3 posts or 4 posts at max. Like I have a content of a month at least uh, to maintain this level.
Yeah, that's sounds reasonable, and it's not overhead that you need to think about a lot of content. So what to do when you come in a situation that your blog become outdated? So the thing that you wrote that are not popular anymore, that are not working anymore, that are not I don't know. So what to do in those cases?
Like when I started learning React Native, I used to write a lot of beginner friendly posts. And right now, in 2 years, React Native has changed a lot. Uh, so I started republishing those posts. I made sure that the new way of doing things, the new they are in uh, they are according to the new documentation and the new things that have come up. I should include them. it also helped me get an update, and it also helped my blog post to get republished. It completely depends on you if you want to republish that post or if you just want to update it. I actually prefer to republish the post in the current date when I'm updating it. So yeah, it helps me.
Okay, we are slowly coming to an end. So here, one question left. I won't leave it so shortly. How does someone get to be a paid writer?
I would say like there are a lot of online publications that pay you for writing content under your name and publishing them on their platform or their online publication. I would say approach them, and as I said, like I gave the examples of DigitalOcean and Log Rocket, that there's a process, like you have to submit an idea and you have to submit an outline of your post of on what you want to write and how you want to go from step A to step B. Include that all in your proposal, and if it get approved, of course you will be getting paid. And if it not, don't worry, there are a lot of publications and you all can always come up with a better proposal.
Okay, that would be it regarding the Q&A session. I would like to thank you again, Aman, for your time and your slides, and especially this Q&A part. So I would also like to thank all the participants who take part in this bootcamp. Yeah, we had eight sessions, 8 wonderful speakers. We had Chris Bongers, we had James Q. Crick, Michaela Greiler, I think, Ido Shamun. Who else? We had Ruth Ikega, we had Anna McDougall, Catalin Pitt, and finally you. I would like to thank all of the speakers, and hopefully that participants could get a lot of knowledge from all of these sessions. Hashnode will send out a form where you can claim the certificate of completion of this bootcamp. So yeah, check your emails frequently and see it. And you have 7 days also for this task. And in case that you didn't finish the previous task, you have maximum, so still 7 days. And probably you also have developers, other colleagues or friends who are also developers who like to start blogging. So feel free to refer them to Hashnode. As you know, it's a cool place to kickstart your blogging career. And I don't know what else to say. It was a funny journey. Also for me, I'm doing this hosting of a remote event for the first time. So for me, it was also something new. And I met a lot of cool people here, also on Twitter, and even we connected on LinkedIn. So that would be it. For those who missed this bootcamp, maybe they will hop on the next one. Hashnode is organizing this every 2 or 3 months, so there will be also a chance. And thanks again, Aman. And
thank you so much.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, everyone.